Hello everyone, this is Carla and welcome back to the studio. Let me quickly go and flip my camera over so you're not looking at my ceiling. So this is Carla, welcome back to the studio and thank you for joining me as I have another episode of my monthly Christmas card inspiration. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. Let me mention a little bit about what my monthly Christmas card inspiration is all about. So on the first of each month, I typically would make two very easy duplicatable cards that would give you some inspiration if you want to create your Christmas cards throughout the year. Now, I, like I said, typically I would do two cards. However, this in July for my inspiration video, I decided to do a new to me technique. Now, this technique has been around for a while, and so instead of doing two cards, I actually created four cards. I had used the Christmas season stamp set. Now, this stamp set is just, greenery and pine cone images. And then I also used the Holly Jolly um, stamp set that has the greetings. Now, these were the cards that I created. And when I did this one sheet wonder, I just kind of imagined my piece of basic white cardstock kind of laid out in this fashion. Now, whoops, let me turn this around. This is backwards. It goes like that. No, it doesn't go like that. It goes like that. Yeah, now we got it. So what I did, I took a 10.5 by 8-inch piece of basic white cardstock, and with a pencil, I drew a line down the center, both vertically and horizontally. And then I used the stamp set with a various amount of green inks that Stampin' Up had. Some of them are retired that I had used. I think one of these may have been retired, maybe not. I can't remember offhand exactly which greens I used, but so I took the images and I started stamping along that pencil line. Now, once I got all of this greenery here stamped, I then cut it evenly in half both directions. And then on the panels, I then stamped my greetings. And then I had mounted it on some cherry cobbler cardstock and then put it on a basic white thick and then embellished it with some of these iridescent snowflake not rhinestones, they're sequins. Okay, so when I made this was actually very, very popular. This particular video, now I've been doing my videos since near the end of September of 2023, and I will tell you that this particular video that I did, it went over very, very well. This particular video that I did has, I want to say it has over 5,200 views to it. It has many likes, many comments, wonderful, nice comments, and some suggestions. So I had a commenter on there that wanted to create these cards. However, she didn't have this stamp set and she tried to find it like on Etsy and in other places, and she had no luck in finding it. So that kind of prompted me into doing another video, but this time I did it using current product. So this one here, I did it in the same format. So let me kind of lay it out as to how I had stamped this. So it's like this. Now, with this particular stamp set that I used a new one that's in our online exclusives. Now, this is at the time that I am filming this. So the stamp set that I used is called Golden Greenery, and then the sentiment comes from Greetings of the Season. That too is also part of this big mega suite that is in our online exclusives. Now with this one, I changed it up just a little bit. So I stepped this one up a little, where this one really, it was just stamping the images, cutting it apart, putting, my greeting on it, and then just embellishing it. On this one, what I did, there's two stamped images here for the bells. So I had stamped those, die cut those, and then I popped them up on my card after I assembled it. Now I did add some 1/8 inch gold ribbon bows on here and some gold sequins. Now Stampin' Up does sell gold ribbon and gold sequins. However, these are not it. I didn't have it in my stash. I used what I had. And this time when I did these cards, I did 2 cards in landscape mode, and then I did 2 in portrait mode. So these cards went over pretty much just as well. I had a lot of feedback that a lot of people really, really liked the one sheet wonder technique. Now, I decided that for this month, there was a suggestion in the comments from those videos that maybe you can do something for a birthday, so you can use birthday images to do this kind of technique. You do it with flowers. You and someone even mentioned snowflakes. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I am going to use a retired snowflake set. It was actually part of a suite of products, and the stamp set is Snowflake Wishes. And in this suite, there was also a set of dies that coordinate with this. The Winter Snow embossing folder. There was also some sparkly blue um, embellishments, and then there was also some iridescent ribbon with it. And of course, there was also some 12 by 12 designer series paper that went along with it too. So for this Christmas card inspiration, I'm going to do the one sheet wonder technique again. However, instead of drawing, the pencil lines on the piece of cardstock and then stamping, basically, down the middle in each direction, this time I'm going to stamp on the whole sheet and then cut it up. And then we're going to step it up a little bit after I stamp my images, and then I'm going to cut it apart. I'm going to stamp my greetings on it. We're going to emboss it to give it some texture. And then we'll assemble, we're going to make it a little stepped up when all is said and done. So with that, let's get started. So let me move this out of the way. So to start off with, just like in the other videos, I have a piece of basic white cardstock. This measures 10.5 by 8. This time I'm not going to mark it with a pencil. Then I have cut, since we're going to be making 4 cards out of this, I have cut some fresh Freesia cardstock. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have 4 card bases. This is Boho Blue, and this measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to set those aside. Now, for the stamps that I'm going to use some of the larger snowflake stamps that are in here. So I'm going to go with these 3 and then these 2 right here. I think that's the ones that I got. So I have Pool Party ink. I have Seaside spray, Fresh Freesia, Bubble Bath, and Balmy Blue. So out of all these colors, the Seaside spray is the only one that is retired. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper because I'm going to stamp off before I stamp down on here. So you can do this stamping one of two ways. I had done one sample. I was doing a sample before I started, and I did this one. Now I didn't cut this one up. This one I stamped a whole lot of snowflakes and I just randomly put them on this cardstock. Now, when I cut this down, I'm sure that it'll look really, really well, or really, really, really well, really, really good on our cards. But I don't know, when I did this sample, I thought, it looked a little busy, but I may still be able to work with this. But I want to just show you that you can do your random stamping like this, or you can stamp it a little bit cleaner like what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to start off with Pool Party, and I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp one in this corner. And I'm basically going to put them in each corner. And I hope you can see, and I'm not out of, oops, I don't think I stamped that off. Let me move this up a little bit because I think I'm going to move you up just a little bit so that way you can see the whole piece of cardstock. Okay, and then I'm going to take another one. I'm going to stamp that in the middle. Okay, now I have my chamois over here. I'm going to clean my stamps as I go. So I'm going to close up my Pool Party. Then I'm going to bring in Seaside spray. Okay, ink this up, stamp it off, and I'll kind of fill in, whoops. So these images kind of have like this watercolor feel to them. And that's how the designer series paper was too. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. Okay. Actually going to need another block here, so set that aside and I'll close this up. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in fresh Freesia. Now, when I go to stamp off on this, just a little tip, I don't want to stamp off, like, say, a color like this over my blue or my Pool Party, because what'll happen, that color will transfer onto your stamp, and then you won't get that true color. You'll have like a muddied kind of color. So I'm going to stamp a few of these. Okay, and let's see, do I want to add any more? I think what I may do is stamp, let me move this scrap paper over so I'm not putting it all over my grid paper. Okay, I'm going to put some right here off to the side. And it's okay if they overlap. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a few more of these. You know what? No, we got 2 more colors to use here. So let me bring in my bubble bath. Okay, make sure this is on my block straight. Okay, make this up, and we're going to fill in. Now my bubble bath looks very pale. Move this up. Okay, and then, I think we look good there. So I'll clean this stamp off. And then I'm going to bring in my Balmy Blue, and I have this smaller snowflake. And I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to basically fill in some of these spots. There. Put a couple up near the top here. Let's see, I could probably bring in another snowflake. So let's bring in another one to fill in some of these spots, and we're going to use another color on here as well. So I am going to take this one here, and let's see, what color do I want to add on to here? So we got a purple, we got a pink. I think I want to bring in, let's bring in another, let's bring in decisions, guys, decisions. I'm going to bring in mint macaron, kind of like a greenish color, and we'll mix that in here. So I'm going to open this up, and let me get a block. Okay, and let's get a clean part because I don't want to stamp over one of the other colors on this paper. Okay, and then I'm just going to fill in. So we're going to add a little bit of green to this. I'm just going to fill it in. Okay, I'll flip this over. Okay, and then I'm going to add, since we got some open space here in the corners, and then we'll put one more in this corner here. Okay, close that up, and actually let me bring in my balmy blue again, and we're going to add a couple of these, a couple more. I think they're pretty good. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so let me clean these two stamps off really quick. Okay, and then I'll close this up. Okay, so now let me I'm going to bring in my guillotine paper trimmer, and we're going to cut our cardstock up into 4 pieces. Now, you can also do one sheet wonders where you can cut like multiple pieces off of a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, or even 12 by 12. And you can make multiple cards. So I'm kind of just doing the very easy peasy way of just cutting down my cardstock to start off with, to have 4 of my top layers of my cards. So so this was measured at 10.5. So I want to cut this at 5.25. And then it was by 8. So then I'm going to cut in this direction at 4. Okay, and do the same thing with this piece. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so like I did my other cards, I'm going to do the same thing with these. I'm going to create 2 cards that are in portrait mode and 2 in horizontal. So let's see. Decisions. Okay, I think this will look good. Okay, so then I have some greetings that are in this set, and I'm going to use Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas. Our friendship is one of a kind. Thank you, Snow Much, and may your season sparkle. And for these, I'm going to bring in my Misty Moonlight ink. And I apologize, when I put my arm through, you can see I got this nasty bruise on my arm. Yeah, the other day I knocked it on the door handle, and I can tell you that did hurt. And like they say, it's always going to look worse before it gets better. So I'm at that stage where it's looking worse. And look, and I end up wrapping my hand too. So evidently I'm kind of clumsy too. So, all right. So let's see here. What greetings are going to go on what cards? So just bear with me here for a quick second. I kind of have my sample sitting off on the side here. Okay, so I have this one that says, may your season sparkle. So I'm going to ink this up. This is going to go on one of the horizontal cards. And I'm going to stamp that right up here. Okay. And then I have this one that says Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas. This is going to go on our other horizontal card. And what's nice about this is you can stamp your greeting really anywhere you want on this card. Okay, I'm going to set these two aside. And then for my portrait ones, we want Thank You Snow Much. And this one I'm going to stamp right up in this corner. Okay, and I'll set that aside. And then our friendship is one of a kind. Link that up. And this one, I think I'm going to place this one right over here. And hopefully I got it straight. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so we're done with our stamping. I'm going to close that up. Okay, so now the next step, what I want to do, I want to add some texture to these cards. So I'm going to bring in my winter snow embossing folder. And I'm also going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, this embossing folder is a regular embossing folder. So the sandwich that you would need for your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine would be your base plate, which is number 1. And then you would want the 2 number 3 cutting plates. So I have one plate down. Bring in my embossing folder. Now with this, what's nice, you don't really have to worry about if it's straight or not. And I'll put that down. Let me run this through. Okay, so you have some nice texture on the card. Put that aside. We'll do the rest of these. And when you emboss, the edge that has the fold on it, you want to put that through the machine first. If you see me swat at something, I apologize in advance. There is I don't know if you end up seeing it in the camera or not, but there is a gnat that is flying around, and it is really annoying and irritating. And at some point, it's going to die. I don't know if it's going to die while I'm doing this video because it keeps on wanting to fly in my face. And he's going to die at some point. Okay, so now I have all of these embossed. Let me take this and move it out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in these pieces. And now I'm not done yet. I want to add like more sparkle and more bling to this. So I have another piece of grid paper. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this down. Okay, and I'm going to do these one at a time. So I'm going to bring in my bone folder. And I'm also going to bring in my Winkostella. Now, for this to work, you want to have your brush tip. You do want it to be, you do want to have the Winkostella on it. So if you go to squeeze it, to get the Winkostella down into the brush, make sure you don't do that over your project or you'll end up with a a big puddle of it, and that's not the look that you want. So we're going to take this and we're going to tap it on our bone folder. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the camera or not, but there are some little sparkle splatters that are on the cardstock. Okay, now I'm going to do that for all 4 of my pieces. I'm just going to check to see that I got some on there, and I do see some. Some of it's kind of faint, so that's why I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Okay, and then we got our last one. Okay, so all our pieces have some spritzing on it. And then we'll get this out of the way. Okay, now let me bring in those pieces. And then I got my fresh Freesia layers, and then I also have my card bases. So I'm going to take my card bases and I'm going to fold and burnish all of these. If there are any other kind of techniques that you would like to see me do, please add them into the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas on doing my cards. So I do my monthly Christmas card inspiration. Now, being August 1st, it does fall on Thursday. So I will also have a throwback Thursday video coming up. It may be posted a little bit later in the day or probably early evening on Thursday the 1st. And I will be featuring the best butterfly suite of products. That is retired product that I have. And then I do my Friday night lives, which this Friday I will be going live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will be featuring the Tune In bundle that is currently in our annual catalog. That's the one with the vintage TV. Okay, so now I'm going to add some seal to all of these pieces that I have stamped and embossed. And I'm going to try not to lay these on top of each other or on the other card stocks because I don't want it to stick down to anything until I'm ready to put it on my card layers. Okay, and I got one more. Okay, and you can always add more to this card. Like if you want to add like any ribbon or anything to it, you're free to do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to place these on my fresh Freesia layers, and there's just a small border of that color. I'm going to do that with all 4 pieces. Okay. Now I do offer an in-person class. Well, it's not really a class, it's a Christmas card club. So those who are local to me here in Memphis, typically it would be the first Saturday of each month. we would gather here in my home here in Memphis. And if you want to make your own Christmas cards, you're free to use the many different Christmas themed stamp sets that I have. The only thing you would need to provide is your own cardstock, designer series paper, embellishments, that kind of thing. And then you would create your cards here. And the whole idea is, again, if you want to make your own Christmas cards and you're creating quite a bit of them, you can do them throughout the year rather than waiting until it's almost December and then they don't get done, which is kind of what happens to me time and time again. So I have paused it for the month of July and August. There didn't seem to be much of an interest in it, and I'll pick it back up again in September. I figure when the holiday mini catalog will be available to customers at that point, that maybe there'll be an interest then. And speaking of the holiday mini catalog, demonstrators have been able to see a PDF copy of it, and there's a lot of amazing, awesome stuff in there. The catalog will go live to customers, I believe, September 6th. If you are not working with a demonstrator and you would like a paper copy of that catalog, or if you need the annual catalog as well, there in the description of this video, there is my email address. Just simply send me an email with your full name and mailing address, and I will, let me know which one or both that you want, and I will mail it out to you. Also, in the description of the video, I do have a link if you would like to be part of my newsletter list. At the beginning of the month, I typically send it out, but for this month, I'm not going to send it out until August 6th. And the reason why is because every month Stampin' Up! Comes out with two new kits in our online exclusives in the online store. And I want to be able to showcase that in my newsletter. Now, in my newsletter, there is also a schedule of all the what products I'm going to be using for my videos for this month. So I have things posted for my Throwback Thursday, my Friday Night Lives. I got this listed in there of my Christmas card inspiration. And then there's also going to be my paper pumpkin. When I get it, I do an unboxing and I create one of each projects in there. So if you want to see the schedule of what products I'm going to be using for those days, that's in my newsletter as well. And so any promotions or anything Stampin' Up! Has going on, I include that. And yeah, so if you're interested, the link to sign up for my newsletter is also in the description of this video. Okay, so now back to the card. So I took my panels and I adhered them onto my boho blue card bases. Now I'm going to bring in my rhinestone basic jewels. These are still available. And I'm going to add some of these onto my card. So I'm going to put on like 3 of them. So we got 3 different sizes in this pack. So I'm going to add each one of those sizes on here. So let me pull those 2 out. Kind of keep it in the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let me add. And I'm just randomly placing these on here, just adding some more bling to it. Okay, and then we have our medium-sized ones. Let's see. I'm just randomly placing them. Mm, there, okay, and then we have our really small ones. I'll just add those. Get one more. I'll put that right there. Okay, so there are our 4 cards. So you can do this, really simply with just stamping. You don't have to do the embossing. But I just wanted to step it up just a little bit. But again, these cards went together fairly quick. So looking at the time, I'm like about 40 minutes into this video, and I created 4 cards and we added some detail to it. So if you like these projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. That way, and click on the notification bell. That way, you'll know when I post a new video. When you subscribe to the channel, when you comment, when you like, when you share, those things really help grow my channel, which is what had happened in the month of July. And it not only helps in growing the channel, but it also helps me in growing my Stampin' Up! Business. And so all that stuff, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the comments, and all that, I really appreciate it. And I thank you so much for all the kind words, and it just makes my heart happy to hear that, I am creating and I am inspiring others. So again, this is posting on August 1st. This is my monthly Christmas card inspiration. I will also, since the first falls on Thursday, I will have another video posted, and maybe a little bit later today, and I'll be using the Best Butterflies suite. That's a retired set. And then this coming Friday on the 2nd, I will be featuring the Tune In bundle. And I that will be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope you can join me. So everyone, until then, have a blessed one, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.